世界杯的球员，那么同时他的爸爸也是前世界杯的教练。然后4号的是 Albertini， 同时我们看到6号 Negro 今天是替补，代替了原来受伤球员上阵。7号的福萨尔，他在上场比赛面对威尔斯的时候曾经进过球。那前锋线上，我们看到今天意大利排出来的是因萨吉还有维亚里。那么在威尔斯方面，我们看到他们的教练呢是 Roberto Gould，然后我们看到他们的守门员呢是。
Inzaghi and also Vieri holding hands at the end of the line. The fans were clapping along in unison. Crowd, I don't know, 15, 20,000, difficult to say. Certainly the ground is not full. But as Eddie was saying earlier in the programme, the Italians have been under pressure. They have been underachieving, if I can put it that way. Let's just hope that Wales don't suffer the backlash tonight. Certainly the first 10 minutes, got to keep it tight.
Yeah, got to keep it tight, got to get to grips with the situation. Don't be overawed by who you're playing against. It's 11v 11. Can Italy play as a unit, but can Wales? Keep them out early on, and then let's see if we can get the ball to Saunders and Giggs, who cause anybody trouble.
The referee tonight is Mr. Eric Steinborn from Germany, and of course he's got 2 German assistants as well, Mr. Schneider and Mr. Schumacher. Michael, I wonder. Actually, it's Frank. Kenny Speed is in the centre circle. Paolo Maldini also having a look. Is Filippo Inzaghi, shorter of stature, different build to Vieri. It's interesting that they haven't played a full game together as yet as a partnership.
Well, sometimes they say that partnerships, you know, they've got to be friends off the pitch as well as on the field. They were close in the national anthem. I only hope that they don't show that closeness on the field tonight.
Well, they just hugged each other before the start, and Inzaghi goes to the far side of the centre circle. Vieri comes close, and certainly Italy will play in the normal 4-4-2 formation, and I think we are going to have a minute's silence for a former Italian manager, a club manager who died during the week, and it was Lotto Natali. Not the full minute, but
always very moving, John. You know, you have a moment of for an ex-professional, and it's always a lovely sight to see.
There was a tribute in the papers during the week, and he's certainly very respected. And now let's get down to business. Ryan Giggs wearing 9. It's the first time he's actually worn 9, certainly for Wales. Darren Barnard comes on the near side. So Wales will kick off. They play from right to left as we look down onto the pitch from our perch high in the main stadium. And there is just that little delay. And the assistant is not happy with the Welsh bench at the moment. I think he wants them just to move in.
No, I think it's just a case where they're just not happy with the nets behind the goal, John. I think that something has just come untied behind the back of the goal, and they just want it secured. But isn't it good to see Darren Barnard back in a Welsh shirt? We certainly missed him over in Switzerland, and it's nice to see him back out there. And for me, the most improved Welsh player of the whole campaign and the season in the Premiership, John Robinson. 110% player, seems to have energy to burn all day long, and he's had a great season. Only a shame for Charlton that they ended up just going down at the end of the season.
Yeah, I know that he will be staying there. Darren Barnard has also just signed a new contract with Barnsley, and really we could shoot Darren Barnard's dog, because the injury was a strange one. He had hurt himself, was on the way to recovery, and as I may have explained to listeners on Radio Wales, the dog dropped a whoopsie, if I can put it that way, on the kitchen floor. Darren slipped on it and injured himself again and was out for 6 months.
I hope he cleaned it up.
Certainly did, and kicked the dog. Right, now everybody's happy. Let's get going. Ryan Giggs standing above the ball, Dean Saunders there. There is kick-off. Play back to Adrian Williams, out to Darren Barnard, near side. He's closed down, has a look up the line, plays it forward to Giggs, who comes short. His touch strikes against the referee, and Albertini picks it up for Italy. Hits it long, the header down. Trying to turn is Craig Bellamy, that's his first touch. Inside to Albertini again. He wants to come square to Conte, but it goes forward again. Vieri's come looking for it. Immediately onto him was Adrian Williams, and it'll be a free kick given away within the first 30 seconds. And the referee wants to have a quick word with Adrian Williams. Certainly he was keeping tight, as tight as he dare, and now Albertini is shaping up to take this one, and he is some 15 yards outside the Welsh penalty box, centre field. Steps up to it, strikes it well. Paul Jones clutches at it, but catches it at the second attempt.
A wonderful strike by Albertini. Conte was trying to block his vision in the wall, came out of the way, good shot, well held at the second attempt by Paul Jones, with Inzaghi following up with Vieri.
Adrian Williams plays it in field to Mark Hughes. Back to the sweep, Andrew Melville, corner of his own penalty area. It's on the left-hand side of the pitch, the near side as we look. Inside to Mark Hughes again. Wales have possession, Bellamy's in the middle, Gary Speed is forward. That's aimed towards Gary Speed, but it's cut out easily by Diego Fuser. Fuser running at the Welsh defence, gets it the through to Vieri. Vieri turns, faces goal, shoots, ball loose, cleared out, chance to shoot in again, ball is loose again in the Welsh penalty area. Desperate stakes at the moment, whistle goes, handball against the Italians, free kick, very untidy.
Very noticeable as well. As soon as Wales gave the ball away in the middle third of the field, how quickly did Italy break? They made sure that they could get a shot on goal within 5 seconds. They were quick, they were very decisive there. Luckily for Wales, they got bodies in the way of the final shot.
Maldini has it on the far side, crosses the halfway line to Di Francesco. Di Francesco chips it forward to Inzaghi. Inzaghi with Melville that's with him at the moment. Page has backed off, crossing to the middle, looking for his partner Vieri. Let it go, says Paul Jones. So Darren Barnard does, and Wales will get the goal kick.
Yeah, and again, you saw a good movement from Inzaghi and Vieri. That time it was Inzaghi making that little run down the inside left channel, receiving the ball, turning Melville, getting his cross in. Fortunately for Wales, it was only Vieri in the box, and it went harmlessly across goal.
A reminder of the score: Denmark 1, Belarus 0 at half-time. That's the other game in the group. Wales play Denmark on Wednesday. You're listening to Radio Wales live from Bologna. We'll go to Buenos Aires at half-time. Later in the evening, you'll have Joe Calzaghe's fight from Cardiff as well. An evening packed with sport. Mark Hughes with a pass inside, looking for Gary Speed. He doesn't fool anybody with a dummy. That's forward. Back it comes to Albertini. Great chance into the box. Hits it with his thigh, but can't keep it down. He could have taken it on a yard, decided to shoot. Balance wasn't right, and it went over the top.
Well, Wales' passing has got to be better through midfield and into front play. And also, the other thing was there, Wales was very, very fortunate. Albertini breaking in the inside right position. He had Fuser in a good position on his outside, but decided to shoot and it drifted harmlessly over.
Latest score from Buenos Aires: Argentina 3, Wales 0. So the rugby team trailing at the moment. It's 0-0 here in Bologna. We've had 3.5 minutes. Paul Jones has the ball to my right. Kicks it left-footed. Ryan Giggs waits. Had very little chances yet to show his talent. Dean Saunders chasing as well. It's taken down without any problem by Cannavaro, who spreads it out near side, Panucci forward, a little touch to Fuser, who's tucked inside, to where Fuser on a run, plays it to Vieri, he could take flexible on his left, shoots, side netting, should have come maybe onto his right side, decided to go left, and the angle was too tight.
Well, wonderful movement by Fuser in the first place. Panucci on the ball, Fuser drifted inside, got the ball off Inzaghi, saw Vieri drifting into the inside left position that time. Actually, Vieri's first touch let him down, took him too far wide of the goal, and his left foot shot into the side netting, with Jones having his near post covered.
And Paul Jones will take the goal kick. Great surprise to have Paul Jones here after he slipped the disc and was taken out to Switzerland in a wheelchair. Remarkable recovery. Italy have the ball now with Fuser, and Fuser was one of the worries that Bobby Gould had, that Fuser and Di Francesco saw much too much of the ball in Anfield, and Darren Barnard makes the tackle with his sock, having lost his left boot. I'm not sure where it is.
It's actually on the halfway line, John.
So it is.
Slipped on the dog muck again.
Glorious isolation is the boot. Referee smiles, allows Darren Barnard to go and pick it up. Is he going to give him time to recover his defensive position? No, he's not. He takes the throw into Conte. Conte looks up, chips it forward. Vieri lets it go! Great shot by Inzaghi. Great save by Paul Jones.
Wonderful save. Good ball in. Inzaghi got in front of his marker. Got in front of his marker Page that time. Wonderful save by Paul Jones, who's going to his left-hand side. Terrific save by Jones.
It's the first corner kick of the match. Inzaghi's name echoes around the stadium. Italia follows as Fuser prepares to take the corner kick. Near side, Italian right. Referee is having a word with Robert Page. Bit of pushing between Inzaghi and Page, maybe. Page is not a happy man. He was the one that was supposed to be marking Inzaghi as he came in. But Fuser will take the corner kick. Whips it in with his right foot to the far post. And they're down! It's a goal! Well, it's an early one again. It's Christian Vieri. 6 minutes gone on the clock. Italy 1, Wales 0.
Loss of concentration, John. 6 minutes gone. Again, goal conceded in the first 10 minutes of an international. Where is the platform? I don't think Buffon's touched the ball yet, but a really bad goal to concede from the set play. Vieri, time and space, good header down, over the top of Williams. He actually got in front of AD Williams, super header from 7 yards, down and high into the roof of the net.
Giggs gets a touch, shoots from distance, and you can hear the cat calls and the howls of derision, and a little apology to Dean Saunders. I think there's a bit of frustration about that shot.
Well, I'll tell you, I've got to say this. I've been in the first 5-6 minutes of this game, Inzaghi and Vieri, we spoke about how close they were in the national anthems. They've been close, they've been linking up play, and it's an ominous sign for Wales, I'm afraid.
Adrian Williams wins the ball. Paolo Negro comes to a position at the back, plays it out to Panucci. Puts it out to Vieri, who's come up beautifully, just lays it to Fuser. But Andrew Melville gets his foot in. Ryan Giggs, well, just pushing, trying to turn his man, and there's a foul. And the whistle goes, and Ryan looks across and pleads for a little bit of help.
Looks a very nervy Wales, John, doesn't it? Don't seem to be able to retain possession at all at this time. Italy are pushing us back and showing them a lot of respect. And we've got to hold our nerve now and get hold of the game.
If memory serves me right, the goal came after 3.5 minutes in Switzerland, something like that. 6.5 minutes here in Italy. Italia 1, Galles 0. Scoreboard to our right against the night sky. And it makes painful reading. Out in Buenos Aires, Argentina lead Wales by 3 points to 0. So not much joy for the rugby players either. Inzaghi with his back to Page, gets the touch into Vieri. There's a slip by AD Williams. Vieri plays it to Di Francesco. Di Francesco forward to Inzaghi again, back in looking for Vieri. Kerry Speed battling for it, makes a mess of it. Inzaghi to Fuser, who chips it across, trying to walk it in at the moment of Italy. And in the end it comes out to Darren Barnard, who tries to get it down the wing, but there's too much of a gap between the front two and the rest, and the cross comes in again, far post, header down, Inzaghi juggling with it, looking for Vieri again, he's offside, they're making monkeys of us.
Well, actually that time, John, they got caught too close together. They actually both made the same run, and they were caught too close together on the back post. But what you're finding is they're playing with plenty of confidence. I do feel that actually Wales have to get the ball and actually try and get the ball forward just that little bit earlier at the moment. They're playing square balls across the park, and as soon as it goes into centre midfield, Italy are onto us. And we need to be trying to get Dean Saunders and Ryan Giggs into the inside left, inside right channel, down the sides of them, and give us some breathing space at the back.
Craig Bellamy's come deep to pick it up and plays it out to the far side. That's launched forward, looking for Dean Saunders. Has made a run between the two central defenders. Then an elbow went up from Dean Saunders there. Referee saw it. It was fairly obvious. I think we saw it from up here, in all honesty. But Wales got to be careful. They can't pick up bookings. Barnard and Hughes are already on one caution. Dean Saunders, it was on Cannavaro. Just got the arm across his face. And Buffon will take the free kick. He's established himself as the Italian #1 now. Mark Hughes with the header down. Panucci in quickly. That's looking for Inzaghi as Andrew Melville just let it bounce and took his eye off it, or took his eye off Inzaghi. And Paul Jones managed to come out and collect.
Well, the early signs are not good, John Harley. The early signs are not good, John Harley, and I think we're going to need Paul Jones at the top of his form tonight, because the way the game's setting up at the moment, Italy are having lots of possession, and they're playing at ease at the moment.
Italy 1, Wales 0. Christian Vieri after 6.5 minutes. We've already seen one outstanding save from Paul Jones. Ryan Giggs, 10 yards in his own half, wins the ball. The ball forward by Bellamy, evades Dean Saunders. And now it's Di Francesco, who's come inside a bit. Gets the ball forward to Vieri, who's come deep, and it's Conte and Di Francesco just swapping passes. Ryan Giggs had enough and steps in between them. Turns, runs at Maldini, steps inside, he's surrounded by 3. Almost gets the ball to Bellamy. But the Italians come away again. Gary Speed with a sliding tackle that was a bit high. Bellamy a bit late. So the referee within 5 yards has decided he's going to give the free kick to Wales for a handball. And the ball is spread out towards Darren Barnard. Back to Robbie Page. Page, who is now a Premiership player, or will be at the beginning of next season, having won the playoffs with Watford. In fact, captain Watford.
Sorry, Joe, I keep interrupting you, but that's their ploy, Italy. They're letting Wales retain possession deep in their final third, and then as soon as Wales play the ball into midfield, you've got Albertini, Conte, Di Francesco and Hughes pushing in straight away, and that's their signal to get close, and then they all hunt in packs. And at the moment, Wales are not getting any joy. They need to try and get the ball, just dink it over the top of midfield into Saunders and Giggs and try and play from there.
A sign of a good side as well, that they all work tremendously hard and they work in unison.
Well, they all know what each other's jobs are, John. That's the thing for me, looking at it early on. They're all aware of where they are on the football field. Inzaghi and Vieri are clever, their movement's good, but when they haven't got the ball as well, they know their defensive situations.
Inzaghi going for an Oscar down on the pitch. Did get caught by Robert Page, there's no doubt about that. Now throwing is taken, Page misses the tackle, Melville steps in, Inzaghi goes down, there's going to be a free kick. Well, about a yard outside the penalty area.
Yeah, it was clever for him, John, wasn't he? He rolled him, he came short, Page came with him, and then he got too tight to him. And in the end it was Melville who had to give the free kick away right on the edge of the box. And
now the alarm bells are ringing. Firm 1 from 3. Albertini's there, Di Francesco is there, also there is Hughes. They're the 3. Inzaghi decides he'll walk out and have a look. Also there is Maldini. They're all going to have little thought about it, but Hughes is just pointing. Maldini is lurking with intention. There's a wall which is now back 10 yards. Albertini's walked away. Hughes is standing above the ball. It looks from the shape as he was going to try and curl it near post. Hughes steps up, whips it across, and he goes past the far post and wide.
Well, credit Paul Jones. He'd organised his wall properly. He knew exactly where his near post was. Hughes went for his far post, and the ball's gone inches wide of the far post. But credit Paul Jones and credit his wall.
Vieri wasn't far away either, who was lurking on the far post. Some fans still streaming in. Decided maybe to turn up late. Lovely evening in Bologna. Headed on by Speed. Saunders tries to shoot. It's going to be a corner kick. And you get the feeling that if Wales are going to get a goal, it's from a set piece.
Well, again, that's what we said that time. They actually got the ball forward that little bit earlier, a little flick on from speed, helped on by Giggs into Saunders, little snapshot, deflected wide for a corner. But we need that ball just that forward that little bit earlier, John.
Adrian Williams and Andrew Melville are forward. Gary Speed as well will also be a target. Ryan Giggs has come across to Darren Barnard. Barnard will take it. Buffon backpedaling furiously to get to it, takes it magnificently. Never ever any doubt.
Absolutely wonderful goalkeeper from who I believe is the best goalkeeper in Europe. He came 12, 13 yards out from goal onto his far post and was very, very clean and decisive in making his decision up. And as you said, there was never any doubt he was going to get the ball.
8-year contract with Parma, you're telling me?
Yes. There were many clubs who would love to have him. I don't think anybody's going to get him.
I love it, literally reading the papers. It's great because they got all the scandals and all the rumours. 17 players in Serie A linked with the Premiership clubs. That's just today's paper.
Well, that's 17 with Chelsea, by the way.
There are 4. There are 4. Including Dino Baggio, who's not playing today, and Deschamps is another one. Di Biagio is the 3rd, and the 4th escapes me. De La Peña. I can say it, but Eddie, as a coach at Chelsea, couldn't possibly comment.
Well, all I can comment on is they're all wonderful players.
Excellent players, and they would be a pleasure to work with, no doubt. Wales have the ball now. They've got some work to do. John Robinson hasn't seen much of the ball. Has it on the far side. Just plays it back to Adrian Williams, who's across to Andrew Melville. Italians are letting them have it. I mean, it's in Wales' 3rd. Page forward to Mark Hughes, who's come looking for it. Back to Page again, and now they push forward. Melville just steps inside and plays it out to the far side. I think this is the longest passing movement that Wales have had. Falls to Saunders, lets it go to Speed. Can't quite get it back as Cannavaro just chips in and takes it away, and now Di Francesco on the far side. 10 yards inside the Wales half. Just plays it short. Albertini has a look up, plays it to Conte. Conte by the centre circle, plays it back to Maldini. Maldini now goes striding forward, almost level with the Wales penalty area. A little back flick. Now it's chipped in, looking for Inzaghi, but it's over his head. And Paul Jones takes it comfortably. Throws it out immediately to Ryan Giggs, takes it on his chest. Panucci comes tight, but Giggs keeps possession and turns. Plays it out to the far side to John Robinson. He's got some space in front of him. Dean Saunders offers himself down the line. That's where the ball goes, but he was spotted. And in fact, it's Cannavaro who's just going to try and shepherd it across. And the flag has gone up, but it's a foul by Dean Saunders for pulling.
No. The ball was never going to run out of play, and Cannavaro was very, very lucky there because Saunders put him under good pressure, and in my opinion, didn't foul him at all. But that's the ball we're looking for, down the sides. Let's see if we can get the Italians running back towards their own goal. Because as soon as the ball goes into midfield, it's very, very obvious that that's their trigger. That's when they squeeze in, and then that doesn't give Ryan Giggs any room at all, does it?
16.5 minutes gone. Italy 1, Wales 0. You're listening to Radio Wales on medium wave or FM. The goal was scored by Christian Vieri after 6.5 minutes. Italy attacking now with Panucci. He looks up, slings it into the far side. The header goes up by Vieri. Paul Jones will collect that one. There's a big battle going on between Inzaghi and Robert Page. And Page has given away a couple of free kicks. Mark Hughes plays it to Darren Barnard. Barnard has a little look up. Craig Bellamy, who's been anonymous in midfield. In fact, a lot of the midfield players have really been anonymous. And there's just been a huge gap, a chasm between the defence and the 2 forwards, who are Dean Saunders and Ryan Giggs. At the moment, Italy have the ball. They seem to have had it for most of the 17 minutes that have been played. Forward it goes to Vieri, once again comes short. He just tucks it back to Albertini. Albertini plays it out to Panucci. Also there is Conte if he needs him. He doesn't. He puts the cross in. Robert Page clears, but it hits Mark Hughes on his knee. And in the end, there's the little header back to Paul Jones by Robert Page.
It's a big test for Robert Page tonight because Inzaghi's taking him short to spin long and taking him away to come short. And Robert Page has really got to have his wits about him, got to be really aware of where he is. And at times he's actually getting caught too tight to him. I think he needs to drop off a yard so he can see his movement that little bit better, John.
He must love international football, Robert Page. The last game he played was against Brazil. Nothing like taking on the best, I suppose.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd rather be out there than sitting up here, especially sitting next to you.
Thank you. Panucci has the ball.
You're quite easy to man-to-man, Mike.
Well, I don't move. I'm fairly big. You certainly find me.
On the line fairly.
Yeah. Andrew Melville has the ball. He hasn't played international football for a bit. There are 6 changes in this team from the side that lost in Zurich, 3 from the side that lost against Italy at Anfield. So there'll be major changes, but at the moment the end result is still the same. Italy lead by 1-0. Mark Hughes spots Darren Barnard in an advanced position. Great ball by Hughes, the header down into space, but nobody there. And now's a chance for Fuzet to come inside Gary Speed. Plays it forward early to Inzaghi, who's come off for Robert Page, to his partner Vieri, now to Conte. Conte plays it past Albertini. Maldini wasn't looking. Craig Bellamy gets there quickly, and Albertini takes it off him and concedes a throw-in. And we're going to pop to Buenos Aires to find out what's happening in the first test between Argentina and Wales. Our man there, Gareth Charles. Panucci hits it low, ball loose, batting up to Vieri, great save by Paul Jones.
John, got wonderful interchange of play there between
Side have certainly got the upper hand here. It's Italy 1, Wales 0. We've just seen some great interplay by the Italians, a chance for Vieri and an excellent save again by Paul Jones. But it's a corner kick. Diego Fuzet will take it. Now the first goal came from a corner kick, a simple header. It's gone long again for Vieri. He's beaten in the air this time, and it's a chance for Wales to clear. Trying to get it out is John Robinson, who's on this side, which is strange territory for him. But he's stuck on the left-hand side, and the ball is hit long to Dean Saunders. It was over Maldini's head. Can Wales break quickly? Craig Bellamy has it, forward to Ryan Giggs. They've got 3-4 back. Bellamy's continuing on his run. Giggs plays it out to Dean Saunders, level with the Italian penalty area. Back into the middle, but there is Conte to mop up and start the move again. But Mark Hughes, a great tackle. Inside to Gary Speed. Speed looks up, he's got 4 red shirts. Ryan Giggs tries to turn Negro, but the ball just runs loose. And it's played forward and easily to Vieri. And now Di Francesco is on the charge, down the left-hand side. Trying to come inside now, looking for support. Plays it into Inzaghi's feet. Touches it on to Vieri. That's chipped across to Inzaghi again! Lovely clip forward. And we've seen some great interplay in this basket.
Do they look a pair of strikers, or do they look a pair of strikers? And the sign of that is because every time the ball goes into either Vieri or Inzaghi, they are aware of where each other is. And that's the simple reason why they're tying and linking up play so well.
That's Filippo Inzaghi of Juventus and Christian Vieri of Lazio, but it's rumoured that he's about to join Inzaghi in Juventus as well. And what a force they will be in the Intertoto Cup. I wonder if they come across Aberystwyth. Ball forward for Italy. Gary Speed just cuts it out. Robbie Page just knocks it down to Craig Bellamy. Mark Hughes battling away there, gets it back to Craig Bellamy. Out towards the far side where John Robinson has it. Inside to Ryan Giggs, turns, faces goal, has a look. Robinson continued his run, but it's a poor pass by Ryan Giggs, and he's beaten easily by Albertini, who says to Di Francesco, go, go. Robinson's caught at field, Di Francesco has it. Tackling back is Gary Speed, trying to hold things up. Albertini, all the way across to Panucci, has come forward in the right back position. Corner of the Welsh penalty area, headed clear, but only as far as Conte. Conte has a look, thinks about a shot, surely not from there. Plays it square to Panucci, who plays it down the line to Fuzet. Fuzet tries to chip it in, it hits Melville. Melville slides in, gives a throwing away.
Intelligent player, Diego Fuzet. Very intelligent player, not just prepared to stay in a wide position, knows when to come inside and create the space with his fullback coming on the outside.
Ryan Giggs apologises for the late tackle on Panucci, and it'll be a free kick to Italy out on the right wing. In fact, it was Gary Speed, I beg your pardon. I'm so used to see Ryan Giggs with 11 on, but it was Gary Speed, and it'll be a free kick. Level with the Wales penalty area. Craig Bellamy being pushed back by the assistant referee, asking him to be 10 yards. Hughes will whip this in with his right foot. Vieri is up. Of course he is. Inzaghi alongside. In it goes. Header up into the air. Whistle's gone. Pushing.
Well defended by Robert Page that time. Got tight that time to Panucci and did give him time and space to jump, and actually won the header and was found himself. But again, as I said, Italy playing a 4-4-2 system against Wales is 3-5-2. And again, with a 4-4-2 against the 3-5-2, the fullback is the spare man on either side. Hughes has been very intelligent to take Barnard inside and leave the space for Panucci coming on the outside, and that's going to be a major worry for Bobby Gould.
Giggs with a back header. Buffon collects the ball. It's Italy 1, Wales 0. We're midway through the first half. Out in Argentina, Argentina lead Wales by 13 points to 0. They've got a try and a conversion to add to the 2 penalties they scored earlier on. Surely it can't be a double disaster for Wales tonight. They'll be telling me next that Joe Calzaghe is going to lose later on. You can hear it on Radio Wales, because that's what you're listening to now, either on medium wave or on a FM. Italy have possession. Wales, well, will be grateful, I think, to get to the half-time with just 1-0. Dean Saunders has it, 5 yards inside the Wales half, has a look up, look across, decides to play it short to Mark Hughes. Hughes gives it back to him, then he takes it back himself, tries to turn, does get it. All looks a bit laboured. Darren Barnard with his chest down towards Aidan Williams, who wants to turn and play it back to Andrew Melville. Melville has a look up. He's got Robert Page on the far side, John Robinson by the halfway line. He comes back instead to A.D. Williams. Darren Barnard is tight on the touchline. Gary Speed has a touch to Craig Bellamy. He feels he wants to get involved, but has the ball deep in his own half. Andrew Melville decides he's going to make a run forward 4 or 5 yards, then play it square. Adrian Williams almost on the halfway line, looking for movement up front, hasn't got it, so back he goes again. Wales keeping possession, but there's nothing at the moment, no options for them. Mark Hughes surrounded, and in the end it goes back to Paul Jones.
Well, that's what I said to you, John, if we're going to play this way, then we've got to be prepared to give Ryan Giggs the ball when it's tight, and we seem to be looking at him and then saying, oh no, it's too tight, we can't give it. Give him the ball, he can handle it.
John Robinson inside to Ryan Giggs, doesn't quite get there. His Cannavaro was quick. Conte touches it to Albertini. Albertini chips it forward, trying to get a little backspin on it, but it lands on Robbie Page's head, and his header is down to Robinson, who plays it inside. Mark Hughes changes direction with a diagonal ball, but it's straight to Panucci in the right back spot, and he'll have time and space just to stroke it inside to Negro, and Negro back to Buffon, and the pressure from Giggs plays it out to Panucci in a little triangle. Gary Speed tries to get there as well. Craig Bellamy trying to cut the ball across, does get a touch, but his second touch is a poor one, and Conte mops up with a long pass back to Buffon. His kick forward isn't great, but it is effective, gets to Panucci, who steps inside Speed, and now Panucci of Real Madrid settles down, hits it long for Inzaghi. Page and Jones have a chat about it, and the ball comes down just inside the penalty area. The whistle had gone, there's a little apology, play on, and Wales have possession.
I've got to say, wonderful goalkeeping by Paul Jones that time. He was right on his 18-yard line. He actually did very well for his momentum not to take him outside the area. But again, he read the situation perfectly and really helped Robert Page out there with Inzaghi's movement being terrific, pulling off the defender Saunders.
Not only aren't Wales finding their wide men, Italy is still getting a lot of possession. I mean, certainly Hughes is coming in tight, as is Di Francesco on the far side.
The thing that you have to say at the moment is Italy look quite comfortable, don't they? And we can only hope that they actually become too overconfident and allow Wales back in this game, because at the moment they're certainly dictating this match.
And Wales are making mistakes. They've just made one now. Paul Jones trying to get the ball out and conceded a throw-in, level with his own penalty area. Dino Zoff on the touchline as the play goes on. Hughes has it, he's juggling with it down in the corner. Barnard's had enough, gets in there and wins the throw. Mark Pembridge, the subs down there in their yellow bibs. And Mark Pembridge throws it back, and Wales get the clearance, but Negro is there. Bellamy to speak to Giggs, to Saunders. Saunders' header is poor, and they had it for 3 against 3 just for a brief moment there, but just couldn't make the most of it. Barnard comes in on Panucci, and it'll be an Italian throw.
Yeah, just for a glimpse of a moment there, we actually had Gary Bellamy on the back of Maldini and a better ball forward, and he was in on goal, so, you know, a brief sign there of some hope for Wales.
Surely rage with a Gary Bellamy there. That takes him back in the history, isn't it?
It's wonderful to see him out there, and wonderful gaining the experience of playing against such prestigious players.
It'll be interesting how long Craig Bellamy will be at Norwich. I had a chat with him on the way out. He said he's desperate to play in the Premiership, but as he said, I couldn't prove myself at the end of the season because I hadn't played enough games because of an injury. He's a fairly level-headed youngster, but certainly an ambitious one. Out there at the moment, the Italians hold sway. Long ball forward to Page, who just steps forward, offside against Inzaghi. 29 minutes gone, it's still Italy 1, Wales 0.
You have to say that at this present time, Italy are playing in second gear. They're quite happy to contain Wales, allow Wales possession of the ball in their own half of the field, and then once the ball comes anywhere near the halfway line, then they're pressing, and it's confusing Wales quite a lot.
Perfect night for football. It's to cool down a little bit. There's a gentle breeze, and the Bologna club flag, a huge one at that, is fluttering opposite us. And the scoreboard to our right continues to say Italia 1, Gales 0. So it's a tale of woe here at the moment. For the tale in Buenos Aires, let's join Gareth Charles. Who's there? Into Albertini. Albertini's a look up, plays it forward. Inzaghi back to Albertini. Albertini shepherded by Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes trying to tackle. Hughes with a free kick, level with the Welsh penalty area. Headed out by Gary Speed. Well, there's the World Cup to come. They can do without that. Argentina 20, Wales 0. And yet to reach half-time. We have got 15 minutes to go before half-time here, and Wales trail by a goal to 0, and they desperately need something to get them back in it. I mean, back into the match. I don't know, a big tackle, a big hit, a bit of luck, a bit of magic, because at the moment it's just not happening. Panucci inside to Conte, over the halfway line he goes. The crowd obviously now are just entertaining themselves. Albertini ball to Vieri by him. Headed out by Melville. Gary Speed comes towards us, towards the left-hand side, inside to Mark Hughes. Hughes hits it early to Dean Saunders. Saunders takes it, but then shows too much of it to Panucci, who just takes it away from him. But his pass inside almost runs to Ryan Giggs. Almost. Wasn't good enough, I'm afraid. And Italy have it back. Albertini to Di Francesco, far side to Maldini. 101st cap for Italy. His father in the stands watching, in the same stands as Bobby Gould is looking down from just to our right, wondering what on earth he's going to say at half-time and whether he's going to make any changes. On the bench, his options are limited. He's got Jenkins, Legg, Coates, Simons, Pembridge and John Hartson, and of course Mark Crossley, the keeper. Page battling with Inzaghi again, who turns and volleys, and the stand doesn't quite get over it.
Yeah, but again, Vieri 30 yards that time away from Inzaghi, but very much aware of where he was. Again, a little bit indecisive that time by Inzaghi, snatched at his chance, again, well over the top. But at this moment in time, you have to say that Wales are playing with that little bit of lack of belief, John, and Italy are playing very much within themselves.
Denmark 1, Belarus 0. Not sure if that's a final score or a latest. It's a result. That's Denmark 1, Belarus 0. Denmark are back in this group. Big game on Wednesday now, and you can hear it live on Radio Wales. Eddie and myself back in unison, but at a different venue. Don't think it'll be as warm either. We'll also have the company of Nathan Blake for that one as well. So it's going to be a big game. And really, we've known from the outset, Eddie, that this result, in terms of the group, isn't going to be that vital for Wales.
Well, it certainly would be vital if we got something from it, John. Every game's vital, but again, we're looking to Wednesday night, looking for the Denmark game, obviously, to try and put Denmark out of the picture. But again, can we get a boost from the confidence boost from the performance tonight? And at this moment, we haven't really forced proof on it. It's only serious work, and it's Italy who's dictated the game.
Albertini looking for Inzaghi. It's overhit. Di Francesco trying to get there. John Robinson is there. Little tussle between the two. The Italian was fouling, and Robinson will get the free kick. Although I get the sense that things have calmed down at the back. There isn't the panic there was in the first 10-15 minutes.
No, definitely. I think they've come to terms a little bit with Inzaghi and Vieri, although they have to be very much aware of their movements. And again, look at working hard to close the ball down deep in the Welsh third there. But, yeah, I think that the game has settled down. As you say, there's 34 minutes gone. And, you know, the initial shock of conceding that early goal has died, and hopefully, you know, we can get to half-time without any further damage, and you know, build from that in the second half.
We've said it so many times. The early goal, and it was the Helenio Herrera, the famous manager, the man who invented the Catenaccio system, which he operated so successfully here in Italy, who said, early goal just kills all preparations.
Well, exactly, but I'm just looking at Dino Zoff and thinking, well, maybe he's a little bit disappointed now, because Italy have had the lion's share of possession, and he might be a little bit disappointed that they haven't pressed home on this advantage.
Chipped out by Paul Jones, curls it round Vieri. It's one of those where your heart just jumps.
Well, he was actually looking for Williams to make a new angle, and he didn't, and he left him in a no-win situation, but put the ball out of play.
Albertini with a little touch to Panucci, up the wing to Fuser. Fuser back to Albertini. Dean Saunders comes hustling and bustling across in his usual style and runs straight into it and gives the free kick away.
Well, they're working hard tirelessly, and that time Albertini was caught in possession, but you know, again, the Welsh defenders are kept very much on their toes by Inzaghi and Vieri, aren't they? They're moving it all the time. There's one short and one long, and one of them's making that diagonal run across the box as well, so we're seeing a terrific display of forward play there.
Panucci with the free kick, but it's taken easily by Paul Jones, who rolls it out to John Robinson on the far side. He takes it forward a couple of yards, then checks back and presses square to Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes to Craig Bellamy, a difficult ball for him to take. Gary Speed does even better to get it on. Robert Page forward to Darren Barnard on the halfway line. Ryan Giggs makes a diagonal run. Can it get to him? Cannavaro gets a little touch. Negro comes storming in and kicks it at field. It's Maldini that was trying to catch up with Giggs, and the ball wouldn't drop to him. It reminded me of a pass that Mark Hughes made against Belgium, which everybody thought they'd overhit, and the only one that could have got to it was Giggs. Well, this time the ball wasn't hit far enough, and the Italians managed to collect, and they've got it still. Albertini to Fuser, who's come some 20 yards in field. Avoids the challenge from Gary Speed, looks up, clips it forward again to Inzaghi, takes it on his thigh. Inzaghi looking for some space, turns, now he's got a chance, and it's there. Filippo Inzaghi. There's a mistake at the back, and it's Italy 2, Wales 0.
That time he pulled up his marker, he's looking for Fuser to deliver the ball. It's a terrific ball by Fuser onto Inzaghi. Inzaghi at first got the ball trapped under his feet, he wriggled past Melville, through Jones, and smashed it in from 8 yards. Again, terrific front play by Inzaghi, very instinctive and very much aware of where the goal is.
But there was a mistake, there was this little slip. Inzaghi had it, went for it, just battled away and battered the ball in.
Very professional by the Italians. Again, super ball by Fuser. Excellent first touch by Inzaghi. Then got the ball trapped under his feet. Then beat Melville in a block tackle. Melville slipped. Ball ran free to Inzaghi. 8 yards out. Finished clinically.
Frightening. We have got, well, just under an hour to go. 37 minutes gone in the first half. Italy 2, Wales 0. And now I'd have thought that Bobby Gould would be desperate to get them in at half-time. Just the 8 minutes to go. Ball forward now towards Dean Saunders. Dean Saunders with a header down. Ryan Giggs. There's a run by Gary Speed, but the ball goes behind him. I don't know if he's looking for Barnard, but it was neither fish nor foul. And the Italians have it again. And a couple of balls that have come in just haven't found their mark. and it becomes untidy, and Italy get possession, and they're so comfortable, dominant.
Well, they are dominant, aren't they? And I think the sign of that is how many times I've seen Darren Barnard and John Robinson in the Italian half, and I think you can count that on one hand, John, and that just shows you the Italian dominance.
Well, Bobby Gould is heading down from the stands to pitch side, but there's an attack at the moment. Well, you have to stop, because Vieri checks it forward to Inzaghi again. Inzaghi back to Vieri. Vieri left-footed, takes a deflection. Paul Jones collects it. Actually took the steam out of the shot, and Paul Jones just managed to pick it up.
I tell you what's getting ridiculous now. They're playing with the ball between themselves, aren't they? At that time, wonderful play again by Inzaghi and Vieri. Very much aware of where each other is, and that time Vieri's volley, fortunately for Wales, they hit Melville, took the sting out of it comfortably into Jones's hands.
Mark Hughes has the ball in the centre circle to Gary Speed. Gary Speed as a looker, plays it wide to Darren Barnard. A reminder that the rugby team are losing 20 points to 0 to Argentina. The football team are losing by 2 goals to 0 against Italy. If you're going for a treble, don't go for Joe Calzaghe to lose tonight. I can't believe that would happen to us as well. But you can hear it on Radio Wales later on this evening. We'll stick with this. Here's a chance for Vieri. Vieri's through into the middle to Maldini. Paolo Maldini scores 101 caps. That's his 7th goal. The left back and captain puts it into an empty net. Italy 3, Wales 0.
We've got a very proud father in front of us and a very sad commentary team here, John. Because that time Italy have won the ball back, they've broken very quickly. They've had the fortunately Francesco on the ball, and he's played the ball into Vieri. Williams slipped that time. Wonderful ball interplay between Maldini and Vieri. And Vieri unselfishly rolled the ball across goal for Maldini to follow up his running score.
Well, Adrian Williams injured himself in the fall. He's limping at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a change there. 3-0. And there's a horrible word that's just come to my mind. Eindhoven.
Well, certainly men against boys at the moment, and I feel that the system's certainly not working. We certainly need to get a lot tighter as a unit. There's too much space in midfield, and at the moment Italy are doing whatever they want to do when they want to do it.
The final ball doesn't help either, and it was an awful one in by John Robinson, and he apologises to Ryan Giggs, because if they are going to get back into this game, they've got to get the final ball better. And I just wonder whether Bobby Gould saw that 3rd goal, because he was on his way down. I certainly won't want to see it again.
No, he saw it all right, John, but it's a damage limitation job here. It's hard enough to come back against Italy when you concede 1 goal, but 3, well, it's near enough mission impossible. This has been a very impressive display by Italy. I've been very impressed with the front two, Inzaghi and Vieri. They're pulling us all over the place at the back. And at times, you know, John, we're too far apart in midfield, and from back to front, we're just too far as a unit, and Italy are picking us off and playing around us.
Well, they're shooting from everywhere now, and it's Albertini who just scuffs his shot.
And you know, it's 3-0, and but for 2 wonderful saves by Paul Jones as well, it could be 5. Buffon hasn't been forced to make a save apart from a catch from a corner. He's been very much unemployed.
41.5 minutes gone. It's the old problem. Concede an early goal, struggle, and then at vital times we concede more. I mean, we're talking about 15 minutes from half-time, getting in 1-0 down, making some adjustments, but at 3-0 down, it reminds me of the famous story of Terry Oreth, Peter Shreves in Romania, 5-0 down at half-time, and Terry Oreth turned to Peter Shreves and said, "What shall I say to them?" Peter said, "I don't know, it's your team."
In other words, he said all the best.
Help, I think. We won the second half 1-0. So I suppose the team talk did help. Dean Saunders chasing that down the wing, but it's easy. And you can hear the cheers ringing around the stadium. Paolo Maldini, the captain, has it, chips it forward, looking for Di Francesco. But this time Robert Page will be there. And he sells a little dummy, plays it inside to Mark Hughes. Now it's personal pride, it's personal performance. It's let's keep things going, let's look for positives, because we've got Denmark to come on Wednesday. and that's a massive game.
Well, of course it is, and we said about that a little bit earlier, John, didn't we? We need confidence going into that game, and you know, if we concede any more, then it starts to dent the confidence and the belief in the players. And you know, if anything, okay, we're playing against a very accomplished side. They look very comfortable in each and every one's job. They know where each other is, but you know, we've got to build, John. We've got to get to half time now without conceding any more.
The reminder that Denmark beat Belarus by a goal to 0. So that means they've got 5 points, and it looks as if they're going to be 1 point behind Wales going to that match against Anfield. Belarus are out of it. Okay, we've sorted that out. Belarus are gone. Now it's Switzerland, Wales and Denmark for second spots. Half-time, incidentally, at Buenos Aires, 23-10. It's better for the rugby boys. Not much better, but it is better. 23-10. Vieri has the ball for the Azzurri. And Forza Azzurri is what they shout, but he was going backwards. And Albertini plays it square to Maldini, back into Albertini. We've had goals from Vieri, Inzaghi, Maldini. Names just to trip off the tongue, and we've seen some slick skills as well. Mark Hughes has it for Wales. Dean Saunders plays it back to Robbie Page. Page out to John Robinson, far side. Robinson looks up, Giggs is going for a run, just checks. Then it comes to Craig Bellamy. Little Craig Bellamy to Mark Hughes. Plays it back again to Page. Inside to Hughes again. 1 minute of added time to be played. And we've got 30 seconds of the 45. Gary Speed decides to go on a run forward. Plays it to Bellamy. Bellamy, if he looks up, you'll see there are 5 red shirts waiting. Decides to play it back to Page. To Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes has a look up, thinks about chipping it out, then comes the other way. Darren Barnard shuffling back to offer him an option. Comes in the end to Adrian Williams, backs on by Speed. Bellamy going for it on the edge. The stepping in is Cannavaro, not once, not twice, but third time as well. But Mark Hughes takes it off him, then plays it to Dean Saunders. Dean Saunders immediately under pressure. Conte turns, uses his backside to push Dean Saunders away, and then just shields and drags the ball with him. And now it's Inzaghi from the halfway line. And for once there's a misunderstanding between Inzaghi and Vieri. They're human. Difficult to believe after their performance in the first half.
Yeah, they've been wonderful together, but again, Wales, the longer Wales take to build their attacks, the easier it is for Italy to get men behind the ball, and they're masters at that, John. They get eight bodies behind the ball, 9 at times, make it very, very difficult for you to get in behind them.
Mark Hughes is flying, found Darren Barnard, crosses to the middle to Giggs, headed down by Giggs, out by Negro, and in the end it's Cousin that picks it up. And there was just a glimmer, a glimmer. But now Di Francesco goes on the far side, on the left. The 2 danger men waiting. Vieri comes short. He's got Inzaghi outside him. Tries to get it back to Di Francesco. Whistle goes. Half-time. Italy 3, Wales 0.
Well, men against boys has to be said. Again, we're punished for conceding an early goal. Poor goal as well from a set play. Always disappointing. Italy well on top. Inzaghi and Vieri very, very impressive. And seeming to play very much within themselves, and then hitting Wales with those 2 quick goals before half-time, and Inzaghi and Maldini. Wales
在意大利队的教练 Dino Zoff 现在他准备要换上替补了，因为在3-0领先一个情况之下，应当按照今天这上半场的形势，不太可能会被对方给反攻回来，所以现在对于教练来讲，准备要换人了。
那今天这个意大利这个表现是非常好，他们这个整个球队发挥也是每个球员基本上都发挥他们的作用，是没有什么发挥的不太好的，特别是他们3条线上是那个配合啊，整个是做得很好。现在今天这个前锋线的9号燕萨基，他这个活动范围也是很大，给这个威尔斯造成这个后防的混乱。
Well, welcome back to Bologna, and better fortunes for the rugby team. Let's hope that the Welsh soccer lads can follow suit. Gareth was talking about it not being over until the fat lady sings. She's been gargling for some time here in Bologna. There are 2 substitutions on. Montella comes on to win his first cap. And what a record he's got in senior football, 54 goals in 84 games. He comes on, Vincenzo Montella, who's on his way to Roma. and he comes on instead of Christian Vieri, who started the rout as early as the 6th minute, and John Hartson is on in place of Dean Saunders. And we have played the first minute of the second half as John Hartson goes up for his first challenge. It'll be a battle between him and Cannavaro. It's a big chance for John Hartson. Hasn't been a great season for him, on or off the pitch. He's had the move to Wimbledon, but hasn't really set the world on fire. Albertini has the ball for Italy, plays it forward, in quickly comes Page, cleared away. Hartson tries to get there, but Conte just steps in, plays it out to the far side. Outside him is Panucci, inside to Montella. That's back to Montella again. Little chip ball forward, they dink it forward so delicately, but this time it just runs out for a goal kick.
Well, I'm just thinking of the backlands there. I'm thinking of Melville, Page and Williams. I'm thinking a sigh of relief to see the back of Vieri, and on comes Montella. So, all the best there.
They were saying they tell the story about Anfield as well, where they saw the back of Del Piero and up steps Roberto Baggio. It's the problem. It's the depth of talent that they have, and in fact Montella becomes the 33rd player that Dino Zoff has used in 9 games. Now, Di Davis was complaining that Bobby Gould wasn't sure about his best team, having used 51. Well, can you say that about Zoff? Montella played it back, forward again, just strikes against Craig Bellamy. Mark Hughes takes it and plays it wide, stumbling around as Darren Barnard, but he gets back on his feet and plays it out to John Robinson near side. Wales in all red, playing from left to right. Giggs had come short and then looks disgustedly as the ball's knocked way over his head. And it's easy for Cannavaro, just plays it across to Negro. Hartson will have to chase across that line, and Wales, I imagine, are going to try and hit it long and find John Hartson, and that's Ryan Giggs to get to the knockdowns, as well as the 3 midfield players of Gary Speed, Mark Hughes and Craig Bellamy. But Italy are pressing now. Page just gets it stuck in his feet and clears it out to Mark Hughes and finds some space and out to Robinson. Now Giggs makes a run for him. Giggs trying to get there, but also there was Cannavaro, who just lets it slide across and plays it back to Buffon in his silver shirt, plays it out to the far side. Panucci into Conte, in inside right position, forward it goes to Inzaghi. Montella waits, plays short. Montella coming across, lovely little ball into Di Francesco, tries a little back heel, somehow gets to Adrian Williams. Mark Hughes holds his head in his hands, not sure what it is, and eventually gets to Craig Bellamy. To Hartson. Hartson plays it out to John Robinson. Giggs again makes the run, gets the ball, has a touch with his left, always caressing the ball with his left, comes inside Maldini. Maldini just falls and clips the ball away. Albertini coming from the back. On the inside of him is Fuser. Fuser forward to Di Francesco. Di Francesco's 2 waiting in the middle, gets the shot in. Paul Jones comes across and gets it at the second attempt. In fact, it was the Welsh players that were causing problems for Paul Jones.
Yeah, but he dealt with the situation very, very well, very positive, and attacked the ball well and got it at the second attempt. But again, it's very, very evident as soon as Italy win the ball back from Wales, look how quickly they broke. Sign of a great side, attacking quickly and trying to get a shot in on goal as early as possible.
Maldini forward to Di Francesco, who plays out on this left-hand side. And Montella is still officially with Sampdoria, but he will be with Roma next season. As Chelsea buy everybody else, didn't they? Albertini in the centre circle.
Take the point, Mr. Hart. Take the point.
But only quality. Only quality.
That's what the game's about. At the moment, Italy have got a lot more quality than Wales, I'm sorry to say. But again, we have a young player out there who's learning his trade, and hopefully he will gain from this experience tonight and get Craig Bellamy.
Plays it inside to Mark Hughes, who presses it back to Robert Page. A long diagonal ball to Darren Barnard. Barnard tucks it inside to Andrew Melville, who's come out from the back into the centre circle to Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes looks up, where is John Hartson? It's not towards him, it's between 2, and it's a poor ball by Mark Hughes, and it's not often he said that during his career.
No, he acknowledged the fact he tried to change the play from left to right there, and unfortunately the pass went astray, and really it should have just gone simply into John Robinson. But he knows he made a mistake, but again, when Mark's playing in centre midfield and trying to keep the two together, they're using his experience.
And the hand claps go around the ground and then die away as it gets to the pace. Not offside. Here's a chance for Inzaghi. Inzaghi edge of the box. Great tackle. Magnificent tackle back by Robert Page. He was in the penalty area. Somehow managed to wrap his foot around Inzaghi and get the ball cleanly. But why the flag didn't go for offside to begin with, I don't know.
Well, he was definitely a yard offside. We were right in line with the situation. He was offside. Nice way play on, and credit Robert Page. He got back. Inzaghi was never quite in control of the situation, always fumbling for the ball. But credit Robert Page, who got back well and managed to get the ball after a corner.
Albertini to take the corner kick. There's no Vieri now for them to aim at, but there are other dangers. And it goes long to where Vieri usually backpedal to. And it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick.
For once, they weren't sure of what they were doing. They gave players a little breather, John.
3-0. 3-0, Italy 3, Wales 0. In the rugby, 23-18 in Buenos Aires. Paul Jones with the goal kick. Fighting for it is John Hartson, literally almost. Craig Bellamy in the gap, sandwiched between two, but his pace takes him away. But as the third comes in, he loses possession but wins the throw. Far side, Darren Barnard takes it quickly into Gary Speed, the captain his country for the 11th time. Turns in the centre circle, out towards John Robinson. Robinson tight on this near touchline. Di Francesco goes across. Robinson thinks about going past, succeeds, still going. Can he get the cross in as well? No, he can't, because Di Francesco stuck to his task and to his shirt, and that's what John Robinson's complaining about now.
Yeah, but they do that a lot in Italy. It's the case of if the ball goes past, you're not going past. And again, Francesco got tight to him. Okay, he was holding him tightly, and he wouldn't allow the cross to go in.
Robinson's turned him now. Now he gets the chance to cross, and Maldini is there to block the cross superbly. And even when they get some kind of light, just a glimmer of light, the Italians just slam the door shut. And now it's with Inzaghi. Chips it infield to Conte, a little touch to Albertini, centre circle, plays it across to Hughes. Hughes with a wristband on his right wrist, plays the long ball forward down the right-hand side. Panucci in towards Inzaghi, but it's overhit. And now it's John Robinson who picks it up. And Wales can start something maybe on the near side. Giggs into some space, but Robinson keeps it. He's got Bellamy square. Chips that one over Giggs. John Hartson takes it on his chest, but it bounces too far away from him and over for a throw.
He's certainly seen a lot of the ball, John Robinson. He's actually been in the Italian half more than he was in the first half, which is a positive sign for Wales. But again, Inzaghi looking quite clever. Here we have Montella on the ball.
Vincenzo Montella plays into Hughes. Again, there's a slip. Back to Montella. Inzaghi's there as well. And Inzaghi and Montella went for it. Two Italians lying, writhing in agony. But Wales bring the ball away on the far side with Darren Barnard. They trail by 3-0 in this European qualifier. Reminder that Denmark have already beaten Belarus tonight. Wales next up against Denmark Wednesday night on Radio Wales. Kick-off 7:30. Join us for live and uninterrupted commentary. Here it's 3-0. Forward by Albertini, but there's an offside flag. Free kick taken quickly by Andy Melville to Mark Hughes to Gary Speed. We played 9 minutes in the second half. And it's better. It's not great, but it's better. Mark Hughes in the centre circle. He looks up. He's got Darren Barnard far side. That's the Ryan Giggs who's made a run, looking for it. Negro's there as well. Mix up for once in the defence. Panucci takes control, takes responsibility, sends Buffon away, and plays it forward. In the end, Negro slams the ball into somebody. I can't tell who, actually, because he's down. And they'll get a chance for some attention to come on.
I think it's Gary Speed, actually.
It's the first time that we've had any attention, if there is to be any. And in fact, it's Darren Barnard who got it smack in the face. And down he goes. Can't blame the dog this time.
Well, at least we look as if we're getting things a little bit together there. We're holding possession of the ball, but for me, we're still just taking that little bit too long to get a strike in on the Italian goal. The ball still needs to be fed through a little bit more. Italy now are certainly defending a little bit deeper, and they're prepared to hit us on that counter-attack.
There's a break in play here, gives a chance to pop over to Buenos Aires. Argentina against Wales. Rugby this is. Gareth Charles.
The FIM World Motorcycle Championship.
Football, that is. We've gone 15 minutes without conceding a goal, so things have improved. Hartson to Giggs. Giggs back to Hartson. He tries to play it without looking. The ball breaks to Robinson. Fortunately, Maldini comes across. Robbins puts it on his left-hand side. Thinks about going to Maldini. Maldini just knows too much. Plays it to Cannavaro of Parma, and Maldini of AC Milan gets it up the line to Eusebio Di Francesco, inside to Albertini, under pressure from Giggs, and then he chips it inside to Conte. Great little play by the Italians, kept their cool and played it out.
Wonderful play, deep in their final third, and again changing the play from left to right. They look a good side, John. They look very, very accomplished, and I have to say they look as if they're playing in second gear.
Craig Bellamy to Gary Speed, back to Bellamy, over the far side to Darren Barnard. You're listening to Radio Wales on medium wave and FM. We're watching Gary Speed make a break on the far side. Giggs is going on the near, but he dragged away, and the ball is cleared, only as far as Craig Bellamy. Wales trying to get a goal back. Crossing, Buffon comes, determined and authoritative. And if he wasn't so untidy, that's about the only thing about him.
Well, I tell you, if you hang him up, this fellow will come and take him all day. He can be as tidy as he looks, if he's looks as accomplished as he is. And again, looks, well, they mean a lot, but they don't mean everything. And you look at him tonight, and again, he hasn't had a lot to do, but what he's had to do, it's been very, very good.
I mentioned his appearance and his work. He certainly isn't untidy. And I can look down on the line on one who was once called the scruffiest goalkeeper ever, Neville Southall. And he could play a bit as well.
He was very accomplished, wasn't he?
The record holder of Welsh caps. Helping on the coaching side now. Ryan Giggs storming towards the Italian goal. Shapes to shoot, does, left-footed, but it takes a deflection of Negro, who's stuck to his task, and Buffon just plucks it out the air and throws it down with an bit of arrogance out towards the blue shirts, and back they come again. I think up front it hasn't been that frightening. I don't think the Vieri was the one that was coming short and picking it up and finding Inzaghi. Montella, who's making his debut tonight, hasn't quite had the understanding with Inzaghi.
No, they haven't quite tied things together as well as Vieri and Inzaghi, but I mean, you look at Dino's off there, and Wells have had a couple of incidents in the last 5 minutes, and up he is off his bench, and he's not happy about it. That's the Italian mentality.
Backheaded is a poor one. Sorry, Eddie, and Paul Jones manages to get back somehow to punch it off the head of Montella. Almost a catastrophe. Melville with a back header, and Paul Jones somehow managed to get back.
Yeah, well, I think Paul Jones had actually come for the initial ball, and it skimmed off the top of Andrew Melville's head. It's gone all over the top of Paul Jones. Montella's onto it. Fortunately, Jones has been able to get back and scoop it off the head of Montella and away for a corner.
26-all in Buenos Aires. It's a corner kick to Italy here in Bologna. Di Francesco takes it. Paul Jones decides to stay. Mark Hughes misses his header. Shot comes in. Great save. Montella's there again. Another fantastic save. The first one was a block, and then Paul Jones was down quickly, and it'll be a corner kick.
Well, again, bad marking from the corner kick. I think it's Negro initially who gets the shot in. Montella's onto it, and again, Jones is very brave and blocks it out for a corner.
Corner kick, far side, Italian right. Conte's in the box now, Montella is there. Inzaghi now makes his run near post. Header by Gary Speed, up into the night sky it goes. A header out by Adrian Williams, and the whistle has gone. a referee who can't have seen the incident but blew anyway. I think he might have had some help from the assistant on the far side, and it's a free kick to Wales.
Yeah, very clever by Conte that time. Ball's got played into the air, he's not looking at the ball, he's looking at the man, he's just got to block him off, and Williams has just fallen over on a little nudge, unfortunately for Wales. Referee's given us a free kick.
And he's now given a free kick to Italy. Got a little slap by John Hartson. Backing in, Albertini has the ball for the Azzurri. It's played out to the far side to Fouzer. Fouzer plays it into Albertini again on the halfway line. Forward it goes, trying to turn quickly is Inzaghi. Inzaghi on the corner of the box, just slips as he turns. Plays it back to Maldini. Maldini, who got the third goal, chips it in. But Page cuts it out, but it comes to Maldini again. Played inside to Conte. Conte far side to Fouzer. Di Francesco's wandered across to the other wing on the far side. He goes for Montella, who steps over it, and Inzaghi had made a run looking for a touch.
Well, that was what we were talking about, minutes earlier. They're just not quite on the same wavelength, are they, Inzaghi and Montella, like Vieri and Inzaghi were. Fair play to Dino Zoff. He sees the chance to experiment and give experience to Montella, and he's thrown him on there. And what was the perfect situation to do so? On Wales' side of it, we've played that a little bit better in the second half, but we really need to force an advantage home now if we possibly can.
Buffon kicks clear. Reminder that it's 26-all in Buenos Aires. At one stage, Argentina were leading by 23 points to 0. Here in Bologna, it's Italy 3, Wales 0. Denmark have beaten Belarus by a goal to 0. And that means that they're just a point behind Wales, and the two countries meet at Anfield on Wednesday night, and you can hear it live on Radio Wales. Scotland got a draw today. England got a draw today, so they're in trouble in their group. Scotland got a draw against the Faroes, equalised in the last minute. What wouldn't Wales give for a draw now? Italy have possession, far side. Conte turns, beats his man, tumbles. That'll be a free kick. Gary Speed apologises. Doesn't want to pick up a yellow card, won't do so, but he is warned by the German referee. Haven't seen the yellow card. The referee's kept control without flourishing them, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, he's used intelligence and common sense in the evening, and we spoke briefly about the referee beforehand, but in general he's had a good game, John. There haven't been too many major incidents in the game, and he's handled it quite well, and he's let the game flow.
Well, you slapped me down when I wanted to talk about the referee, so I thought we'd give it up. Free kick to Italy, taken quickly. There's an Italian sub preparing to come on. I think maybe Chiesa actually that's down there. But Montella is on, and his dummy doesn't fool Andrew Melville. John Hartson's come short in the centre circle. Ooh, his touch sells Mark Hughes way short. But Page gets it out to John Robinson. Ryan Giggs says, look, inside to John Hartson, but it goes the other way, and it's cut out by Maldini. And Montella plays it to Di Francesco. It's going from one end to the other. Maldini's gone storming down the left-hand side. He's level with the penalty area. Crosses in the middle, far side. Montella's pulled away, and back there to head clear to Gary Speed. And it's the little soldier who's coming on, Delivio of Juventus.
A little pocket battleship.
Yeah. Short and squat, and never played under Zoff. The favourite of Cesare Maldini beforehand. And it'll be Fouzer that's coming off, so Delivio will play on the right-hand side of midfield. Maldini just wanders across to the word with his manager.
Well, Fouzer's impressed me. He's been intelligent. He hasn't just came in the right position. He's actually drifted inside to give Barnard a problem. I've been very impressed with Fouzer, and again, another chance for Zoff to experiment with Delivio on, giving this chance of those early shirts.
And you talk about being professional, Eddie. He's warming up with a fitness instructor down on the touchline for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's typical Italian. Over the last few years we've grown up Chelsea with that mentality, and I must admit that doesn't surprise me one bit.
It's corner kick, far side. The Italian right, in it goes, but it's cleared by Page. Comes straight to Delivio, his first touch. He looks up, decides to shoot. Well, thankfully, he hadn't been practising his shooting on the track. That just went high and wide.
Well, I don't know whether he was looking to shoot, whether he was actually looking to cross, but he got a little bit excited when he was on the ball. Unfortunately for Wales, he didn't show the quality that he normally shows. But again, Wales haven't conceded, and there's something to. Hopefully, we can get something back in this game. Hopefully, we can gain a little bit of encouragement from the fight back the rugby boys have shown to.
Yep, 26-all in Buenos Aires. Free kick to Wales in Italy, where we trail by 3 goals to 0. But it's a free kick, some 10 yards outside the Italian half. Wrong side, really, for Ryan Giggs, but he's standing above the ball at the moment. In the middle moving forward. Gary Speed, Andrew Melville. Also there is John Hartson, big John Hartson. Giggs strikes it in, far post it comes, and it goes past everybody and out for a free kick. It's a free kick they've used before, but with the Fulham pairing, and it hasn't worked this time.
Well, unfortunately, it's just overhit that time with Hartson and Williams coming in on the back post. And we actually had a 2v1 situation, but unfortunately for Wales, that time the ball drifted harmlessly wide.
Well, what a comeback they've had in Buenos Aires. 23-0 down at one stage. Wales now lead by 33 points to 26. First test there. Italy pressing. Di Francesco is just tackled. Slight push on him by John Robinson. Craig Bellamy looks up, uses Mark Hughes, who's on his right shoulder. John Hartson comes across. That's through into John Hartson. He takes it and tries to come across Cannavaro. They're both tumbling over. Who'll get the decision is Wales. Hartson takes the throw quickly to Bellamy, level with the Italian penalty area. He quite can't control it. He runs into Albertini and Maldini. If he looked at, he'd probably have his mouth open, probably thinking he's only seen them on posters before. But John Robinson inside to Gary Speed, to Mark Hughes. Plays it across to Andrew Melville, who carries on, but his ball's a poor one, and it's straight to Di Livio. And Di Livio just takes it back, and Conte has it in midfield. Albertini, Montella running across. He's a little bit deeper than Inzaghi. And Inzaghi right on the line, trying to play on the shoulder. And forward he goes. Montella is tackled, but the ball comes out to Albertini. Play on, says the referee. Albertini has it. Decides there's no way forward, so he goes back. 26 minutes gone the second half. Ball crossed into the mid, looking for Inzaghi. Easy for Paul Jones, because Inzaghi certainly doesn't have the physical presence that Vieri did.
No, again, but his movement was good. They waited, and then finally, once he's made his move, then the ball's going in, and they've been very, very professional, the Italians, I have to say.
Great pass by Gary Speed to Ryan Giggs. Takes it beautifully on his left foot, and I've been amazed. We're playing on the right. Ryan Giggs just uses his left, uses it. You keep on expecting the right one to come across. He was hoping to get a corner kick. It's a goal kick, which has angered his manager. Can't say Ryan Giggs is best pleased either. And Neville Southall in front of us is fairly phlegmatic about it all.
Well, if anything, the one big disappointment is we haven't really been able to get Ryan the ball enough, have we? And then to see that wonderful side of him running at pace, at defenders, with and without the ball.
Well, let's get him through this one uninjured, so we can have him again on Wednesday and another shot at it. Wales v Denmark coming up. Giggs to Bellamy. Bellamy forward, but Maldini just has too much for him. Albertini back to Maldini. Lovely play. Inside to Conte. He'll turn, have a look at who's on the far side. It's Panucci. Panucci, 15 yards inside the Welsh half. 3 waiting in the middle. Panucci's continued his run. Di Livio's come across. Di Livio has a look at. Plays it Montella. Back to Di Livio, who's pulled down by Darren Barnard. I think he was beaten. He's complaining it was a dive, but they're hoping that the yellow card doesn't appear, because Darren Barnard has already seen one, and if Darren Barnard is booked, then he could miss Wednesday night. But I don't think he's going to get punished.
Well, he's quite fortunate actually, because he's pulled him back off the ball there, hasn't he? It's a little 1-2 by Di Livio, looking to get him round the back. And unfortunately for Wales, the referee hasn't seen Barnard's incident there. Otherwise, that yellow card would have been out.
Well, the wall is being lined up. Montella is standing back, thinking about taking this. He's got confidence on his debut, and he's scored enough goals. Albertini's also there. We've already seen him strike a ball early on.
Have you ever met an Italian without confidence?
Well, Montella is standing above it, just a yard outside the box. Chips it in over the bar. Not far.
Not far, but he's no Franco Zola. It was a little bit too casual for me, and even if it had been on target, Jones had it covered, because it didn't really carry enough pace to give Jones that many problems.
Why don't your Italians get a look in? Is it because they're playing outside the country?
Possibly. As we said earlier, there's only Panucci in this squad who plays outside his country, and he's very much rumoured to be coming back to Inter Milan. I must say they're certainly good enough. Having worked with him day in and day out. But again, it's the Italian manager. He's the boss. He makes the decisions.
30 minutes gone here in Bologna. Italy 3, Wales 0. Much, much better story as far as Wales are concerned in Buenos Aires. Let's go over there to Gareth Charles. Okay, fine. Montella, forward to Inzaghi.
Look for some pluses. I have to look for some pluses.
Dino Soff, the Italian coach, taking the opportunity of giving everybody a run out, including several of the substitutes. And a long-range effort coming in, and that's a good save from Paul Jones. Delivio come on recently as substitute and fancies his chances always. Good clean strike on the ball, and Paul Jones does well to get across and push that wide. Perhaps going with the wrong hand, might have done better with the left hand, but the Southampton goalkeeper does well. Certain lack of enthusiasm from the Italian players to get into the penalty area. They know the game's won, no need to do too much. Well defended on the near post.
John Robinson picks it up, and the left wing, far side, Ryan Giggs is ahead of him. To Giggs it goes, his touch is poor, and Italy come back again. Forward to Montella. Montella plays it back inside. Great chance for Italy, but the shot cannons off the defender from Cannavaro. Italy and a corner kick in towards Inzaghi, who shapes for a volley. Steve Jenkins has come on, clears only as far as Albertini. Lovely little reverse pass, but doesn't quite find his mark. Rob Thomas, you across the television lines for the interviews. It might be an idea. Montella turns his man. There's a chance to create something.
positive flurry of substitutions from both sides. Steve Jenkins, one of the subs, making the run down the right flank. Getting no change out of Paolo Maldini, and in that case he joins a long line of players who've got no change out of Maldini. Pippo Inzaghi goes off to be replaced by Enrico Chiesa. And this really is just a question of giving everybody a run out now, and clever little flick almost gets through. Be nice for Wales to get a consolation goal, but the Italians, well, they're probably the best defenders in the world. You have to feel that they're unlikely to give anything away in these circumstances, even if they're playing at, what, 2/3 pace? Well, we have the commentary back again. I'll pass you over to Bologna.
Wales nil. We've had some substitutions. Steve Jenkins is on, Mark Pembridge is on. Pembridge came on for Bellamy, Jenkins for Robinson. But Italy pressing at the moment. They've also got a substitute on in Chiesa, and he's got a tremendous record. He's featured in 5 of the last 6 games. Not played a full match, but he scored 3 goals. All in the one game, mind. All chipped forward, trying to turn and cause problems is Montella, and it'll be a corner kick to Italy.
Just shows you their strength in depth, doesn't it? You have a person with the quality of Chiesa to come on. Wonderful talent, had a wonderful season with Parma. And again, that just shows you the benefits of having a squad with such strength and depth.
Play with Parma, chased by Madrid, Fiorentina and Lazio. And being chased by Welsh players at the moment. It's a corner kick. In it goes to the far post. In fact, it was from Chiesa. And there were 2 of them tumbling on the far side. One was Montella, the other was Negro. And both of them missed it, thankfully.
Well, good marking that time by Hartson in his own penalty area there. He kept close to Negro, and again, the ball drifted harmlessly wide, but good marking that time by John Hartson.
We've got 8 minutes to go. A reminder that you're listening to Radio Wales on medium wave or on FM. Wednesday night, we hope to have your company when we'll be coming live from Anfield when Wales play Denmark. A vital match in the group because Denmark have beaten Belarus tonight by 1-0. That was earlier, and they'll have 5 points to Wales' 6, and Switzerland have 7. So Switzerland face Italy, and they won't fancy it, even though they're playing at home. Ball's loose. Di Francesco into the box. He fires it over the bar, not on his strongest foot. Not that his right's bad, but over it went, and I'm not sure whether it was a save, because they've actually given a corner kick.
Well, again, it's a wonderful save by Paul Jones. He has been the best player for Wales by far this evening. He's been the busiest, and he's really kept his side and kept the score.
So Chiesa has the corner kick, near side, near post, headed clear by Gary Speed. Not a good corner, didn't get past the first defender, but Italy will have a throw. They lead by 3-0. They face Switzerland on Wednesday when Wales are playing Denmark. It's all in the melting pot, and Italy could really win the group on Wednesday, as everybody expects them to. But they will hope that, Wales will hope that they beat Switzerland, because that has got to help us. But we've got to help ourselves as well, get ourselves sorted, not give away early goals, and make ourselves difficult to beat once again.
Well, again, and also play with a bit of belief, John. We've been better this half, but we haven't really shown that great belief as a team, have we?
Now, Chiesa trying to thread the ball through to Di Livio, who's having a kind of slapping match, I think you might call it, with Darren Barnard. Ends with a shake of hands, and it'll be a free kick to Wales.
Yeah, but it's a big word, belief in football, and if you're playing with confidence that you want the ball, you're happy in possession and you're creating things and you're playing with a smile on your face and you're expressing yourself, and when you're not, that's when it becomes difficult, and that's when you find out a little bit more about yourselves. And Wales have had to dig deep tonight, and okay, they've kept the score down at the moment in the second half. They really haven't played with that belief that we're looking for, John.
A mistake by Adrian Williams on the far side. Italy have possession, level with the box. It's switched back inside to Albertini. He chips it forward cheekily. Di Francesco tidies up because it wasn't right, and it goes back to the focal point of Albertini. He plays it out to Di Livio. Di Livio inside to Montella. Montella, corner of the box, turns, swivels, inside it comes! Header by Melville, wide of his own post and out for a corner.
Well, I actually think it was a good job he never touched it, because it was a whip ball in by Montella, and he actually just missed it. Page just missed it, and it's drifted wide. Very fortunate for Wales if he had got a touch. Might have ended up in the back of our net.
And the ball is just looking at replay as it goes past, and he's lucky he's got a crew cut, that's all I'll say. Robert Page has also got a crew cut. Gets it out to Giggs. Giggs steps inside. And the ball is with Mark Hughes. But he loses out. Now is a chance for Conte to go striding forward. Until he got 4 against 3. It's out to Delivio far side. Delivio on the angle shoots. Paul Jones saves with his feet. I don't know where we'd be without our Welsh keepers. And I'm sitting next to him.
I've got to say that Jones has been outstanding on the night. He's kept the score down. Be interested to see the stats on the game, but he must have made at least half a dozen top quality saves.
Di Francesco with the throw to Albertini. 4 minutes remaining. Shot comes, ball to Chiesa, tries to lift it up to volley, and I'm sure the Italians want to finish with a flourish. But at the moment it's 3-0, all 3 goals in the first half. One after just 6.5 minutes, and the other in the last 10 minutes, or the 10 minutes before half-time. Italy have it again, pushing Wales back. A mistake by Adrian Williams. He's really looked rusty and lacking in match awareness. Steve Jenkins has it, plays it back to Robbie Page. Page inside to Mark Hughes. Hughes lifts it back to Andy Melville. Melville has tried to play deep, but he still had them coming at him from all angles. Forward to Ryan Giggs, who gets a touch to Mark Pembridge, the sub. Pembridge going forward, looking outside him is Darren Barnard, who's on his bike, but Panucci is a bit quicker. Mark Pembridge just asked a little bit too much of him with that ball.
Yeah, I've got to say that at times our first touch and our quality has been poor as well, John. I don't really want to harp on about negatives, but you have to speak what you see, and at times we've given the ball away sloppily, and I can just look at Ryan Giggs and I see his shoulders drooping. I'm thinking, oh my God.
Hartson tries to play Robbie Page in, and that was a loose ball as well. Maldini's there, but Page's physical presence managed to win it back, but Maldini covers up. Albertini covers up for his captain. They support each other so well, they fill the gaps, and they work so hard. They used to say about the great Brazilian team that they not only had talent, but they worked harder than anybody as well.
Well, I've been very impressed with them. I know Wales haven't given them that much of a test, John, to be perfectly honest, but each and every one of them have known each other's jobs. They have filled each other's spaces very, very well. They've hunted in packs. They've known when to close the ball down and when not to. They look very, very accomplished to me, and I only hope they look this accomplished in Switzerland on Wednesday.
Still, their manager Dino Zoff doesn't look a happy man. I think he's going to make another substitution for the last 2 minutes. Mark Hughes goes sliding in. Don't give a free kick. Don't pick up a yellow card now, Mark. I mean, don't want to miss the game on Wednesday. Ryan Giggs running at Maldini. Maldini just for once looking a little fragile, but a little back heel gets him out of trouble, and Albertini just plays a simple ball. Di Francesco and Conte, now they play it back to Albertini, and he's over the halfway line, offering himself as Montella, trying to play 1-2 off the referee. That's too cheeky. Mark Hughes battling for it, still battling for it in a spin. Too many blue shirts in the end, and Albertini in towards Montella, tries to turn. Gary Speed catches him on his heels. Free kick taken quickly. Delivio hits it forward. Montella looks up. Oh, what a goal! What a goal! And it's Chiesa who finds the net from 35 yards, and the Italians are all smiles because they know it was special. Italy 4, Wales 0.
Well, you spoke about that record, John, didn't you? What was it? 6 goals in 5 games? I'll tell you what a strike. Very little backlift. Williams dropped off him. Little backlift. Power in the right foot shot. Jones, no chance. Wonderful strike from 30 yards by Chiesa.
It whistled him. Absolutely whistled him. He's not the biggest, but by heaven he packs a punch.
Good night, Vienna. Good night, Bologna.
Yeah. It's been a Bolognese all round, isn't it, I'm afraid? And we're going to have 3 minutes of added time. So 3 minutes to last out. And that goal came after 43 minutes of the second half. So suppose you could say we only lost the second half 1-0. Although it's not over yet, of course.
Well, John, I'm just hoping that the goal, you know, this second place doesn't go down to goal difference in the end. You know, I'm not really, I'm not really surprised that they've scored another one.
No.
What does worry me is obviously the goal difference in the group.
I think the difference between this one is that, and all the other games in the group, so that includes the other countries as well, all those games have been tight. You know, they've turned on an incident or on a goal. I think this is the first tanking that anybody's taken, and it just so happens it's us. So there we are. Belarus are down the bottom with 2 points. Steve Jenkins is trying to come inside, and he runs straight to Cannavaro, and the free kick is given Wales' way, maybe for a two-footed tackle, I'm not sure.
Well, surprising decision from the referee. An advantage to Wales, deep in the Italian half. Hopefully, we can gain something from it.
Ryan Giggs tries to take it quickly, but he's got 3 Italians within 3 yards of him. So they're certainly not going to go back. Now, Ryan, well, go on, have a go. You might as well have a go. He is some 10 yards outside the penalty area. That makes it 28 yards, but on the angle as well. And he's standing out there. Have a look, Strider. It's low across, little touch almost came in from Gary Speed. Had he got the little flick, it might have been useful for John Hartson, who was lurking behind. But in the end, it was nothing. And a short blast of the whistle, saying that they're throwing on the far side.
Not Ryan Giggs' best, was it, from the free kick? He had a chance to hang it up for Hartson and Williams on the back post, but he drilled it instead. Pembridge, I think it was, he missed his little touch. And Italy were unable to clear quite comfortably.
Now some of the paparazzi are heading down towards the touchline to get the post-match views. I suppose we'll be desperately looking for positives, Eddie.
Well, John, if the pasta's as good as Italy's display, we won't go too far wrong, that's for sure. But for Wales's display, well, you've got to say that Paul Jones has been outstanding. Without him, it could have been 6 or 7.
Mark Hughes, centre of midfield, plays it out wide to Steve Jenkins. Steve Jenkins inside to Robert Page. John Hartson waiting edge of the box. That's aimed towards him, but the angle was all wrong. It's played from the wrong place. It's not the kind of ball a centre forward really wants.
No, I'm just looking at the Bobby Gould's alternatives for Wednesday, really, John, looking ahead. You know, will Coleman be back? How bad is his Achilles injury? Will he be back in time? Will we have Robbie Savage back as an alternative?
Well, I'd have thought certainly he'll play Robbie Savage. It looks as if Coleman might be all right. He trained during the week. In fact, he trained 2 days ago. But the question was asked of him, are you 100% fit? And he said no. So that's why he was left out. Have we been 100% comprehensively beaten? Yes, because the final whistle has just gone 4-0. Vieri after 6 minutes, Inzaghi after 36, Maldini after 40, Chiesa after 43 in the second half. And I tell you what, these Italians are a bit tasty.
Well, they certainly are. I was just watching Bobby Gould there as he strides dejectedly off the field. He's telling his Welsh players to go and salute.